These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan.
It's been a good season.
They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try.
The latest developments in women's basketball have sent shockwaves across the sports world. A story that seemed almost unbelievable at first is now dominating headlines, and it revolves around one of the most recognizable names in the game today, Caitlin Clark. Reports suggest that Clark has received one of the largest offers ever made to a female athlete in basketball history. According to multiple insiders, a staggering $75 million deal has been placed on the table by a new professional 3x3 basketball venture connected to the rapidly growing unrivaled 3x3 League project. What makes this offer even more extraordinary is that it isn't simply a contract to play basketball. The deal reportedly includes a massive financial partnership involving the media company TNT Sports, which is expected to broadcast games and help promote the league across multiple platforms. This arrangement would not only place Clark at the center of the competition on the court but also position her as one of the main faces driving the league's visibility and marketing strategy. For context, deals of this size are extremely rare in women's professional basketball. While the WNBA has steadily grown in popularity over the past few years, player salaries there remain relatively modest compared with those in men's leagues. The possibility that Clark could earn tens of millions of dollars in a new venture immediately captured the attention of fans, analysts, and players across the sport. The timing of the offer is also significant. Clark has already become one of the most influential athletes in women's basketball after her historic college career and her rapid rise in the professional game. Her debut season generated record television ratings, increased arena attendance, and drew millions of new viewers to women's basketball broadcasts. Because of that enormous impact, many people now see Clark not just as a talented player but as a transformative figure capable of reshaping the financial landscape of the sport. If she were to accept the deal, it could mark a turning point for professional women's basketball. A contract of this magnitude would signal that investors and broadcasters believe the sport has the potential to reach a much larger global audience. At the same time, such an offer inevitably raises difficult questions. Would accepting a deal like this mean stepping away from the WNBA? How would it affect the balance of power within women's basketball? And could it inspire other leagues to compete aggressively for top talent? Those questions are now at the center of one of the biggest stories in sports today. What began as a surprising rumor has evolved into a debate about the future of the entire game.
Sports. They're going to broadcast 2 games a week on TNT and 1 game a week.
While the discussion about salaries continues, another important factor in the situation is the reaction of Caitlin Clark herself. According to people familiar with the situation, Clark has approached the reported offer with a mixture of excitement and careful consideration. On one hand, the opportunity represents a life-changing financial milestone. A contract worth tens of millions of dollars would instantly place Clark among the highest-earning athletes in women's sports history. Beyond the immediate financial rewards, the partnership could also open doors to global marketing opportunities, endorsement deals, and media appearances that extend well beyond basketball. However, the decision is not purely about money. Clark has repeatedly spoken about her desire to help grow women's basketball, particularly within the WNBA, where she began her professional career. Her arrival in the league created a surge of excitement among fans, and many people credit her with bringing a new generation of viewers to the sport. That sense of responsibility makes the decision significantly more complicated. Accepting the offer could potentially mean stepping away from the league that helped introduce her to professional audiences. Such a move might also trigger backlash from some fans or fellow players who believe the league's biggest stars should remain committed to building its future. At the same time, supporters argue that Clark has every right to consider opportunities that reflect her true market value. Professional athletes often have relatively short careers, and maximizing those opportunities can be essential for long-term financial security. If another league is willing to offer dramatically larger contracts, many analysts believe it is reasonable for players to explore those options. Insiders suggest that Clark is carefully weighing all these factors before making any final decision. She understands the potential benefits of the offer, but she is also aware that whatever choice she makes will likely have a lasting impact on the sport. In many ways, this decision could become one of the defining moments of her career.
Everywhere you turn,
However, as astonishing as the reported $75 million offer may be, there is an important complication that has added another layer of drama to the situation. While many fans are celebrating the possibility of such a groundbreaking contract, reactions within the WNBA community have reportedly been far more complicated. According to several sources, emotions among players have been running high. The proposed deal comes from the emerging unrivaled 3x3 League, a new professional league designed to showcase a faster, more condensed style of basketball. The league's creators hope to capitalize on the growing popularity of women's basketball by offering players new opportunities and larger financial rewards than traditional leagues currently provide. To achieve that goal, they appear determined to recruit the biggest possible star. That star, in their view, is Caitlin Clark. Reports indicate that the proposed contract would make Clark not only the highest-paid athlete in the league but also the centerpiece of its entire promotional strategy. In addition to salary payments, the deal reportedly includes endorsement opportunities, revenue participation, and a prominent role in media campaigns connected to the broadcasting partnership with TNT Sports. If those numbers are accurate, the contract would be dramatically larger than the salaries currently earned by most professional women's basketball players. In fact, some analysts estimate that the offer could be more than 20 times higher than the average salary of many players currently competing in the WNBA. That massive financial gap has sparked intense discussion throughout the basketball community. While some observers believe Clark simply deserves the compensation because of her unprecedented popularity, others worry that such a dramatic difference in pay could create tension among players who have spent years building the league's foundation. Professional athletes are naturally competitive, and recognition, both financial and cultural, plays a major role in how they evaluate their careers. Seeing one player receive a contract far larger than anyone else in the sport could understandably provoke mixed reactions. Still, from a business perspective, the strategy behind the offer is clear. Leagues often invest heavily in a single superstar who can attract audiences, media coverage, and sponsorship deals. The idea is that the attention generated by that star will ultimately benefit the entire organization. And in the case of Unrivaled, executives appear to believe that Clark's global popularity could instantly elevate the league's profile.
Well, this is very interesting indeed. Now, this Unrivaled Basketball League is been started by a group.
Beyond the immediate headlines, the situation surrounding the reported offer to Caitlin Clark may signal a much larger transformation within women's basketball. For decades, the WNBA has served as the primary professional destination for elite female players in the United States. While international leagues in Europe and Asia have also provided opportunities, the WNBA has remained the central stage for the sport. However, the arrival of new ventures like the Unrivaled 3x3 League suggests that the landscape may be beginning to change. If investors are willing to commit tens of millions of dollars to recruit top players, it could trigger a wave of competition among leagues seeking to attract the biggest names in the game. Similar situations have occurred in other sports throughout history, where emerging leagues attempted to challenge established organizations by offering higher salaries and greater creative freedom. Sometimes those efforts fail. But in other cases, they reshape the entire industry. For women's basketball, this moment could represent the beginning of a new financial era. Increased competition for star players could lead to larger contracts, improved sponsorship opportunities, and expanded global exposure for the sport as a whole. At the same time, it also presents a challenge for the WNBA. If rival leagues continue offering massive contracts to marquee players, the league may face increasing pressure to adjust its salary structure and revenue model in order to retain its most valuable stars. For fans, the story has become about more than just one player's decision. It now raises broader questions about the future of women's basketball. Will Clark remain loyal to the league that launched her professional career? Or will she accept a groundbreaking deal that could reshape the economics of the sport? Whatever happens next, one thing seems certain. The decision made by Caitlin Clark in the coming months could influence the direction of women's basketball for many years to come. The details surrounding the reported deal suggest that this opportunity could be about much more than simply playing basketball. According to insiders, the proposal includes several unique elements designed to transform Caitlin Clark into a central ambassador for the league's global expansion. Beyond her salary as a player, the contract is believed to include major endorsement opportunities, media appearances, and potential involvement in broadcasting initiatives connected to TNT Sports. These elements would allow Clark to build a brand that extends far beyond the court. In many ways, the arrangement resembles the type of partnerships that have helped iconic athletes expand their influence across multiple industries. If the deal were finalized, Clark would likely become one of the most visible figures in women's sports worldwide. The financial value of the contract reflects the belief that her popularity can drive television ratings, ticket sales, and merchandise revenue on a global scale. This strategy is not without precedent. Throughout sports history, leagues have often relied on generational stars to accelerate growth. The NBA, for example, experienced dramatic international expansion during the eras of players like Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Executives behind the Unrivaled project appear to believe that Clark could have a similar impact on women's basketball. Their goal is not merely to launch another league but to create a platform that competes with existing competitions, including the WNBA and several prominent European leagues. If successful, this strategy could reshape the financial structure of the sport by introducing new sponsorship models, larger broadcasting deals, and higher player salaries. Even the current television numbers suggest enormous potential. WNBA broadcasts have already seen significant growth in recent seasons, with average viewership reaching hundreds of thousands of viewers per game. Supporters of the new league believe Clark's involvement could dramatically expand those numbers. Whether that prediction proves accurate remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the reported offer represents one of the most ambitious attempts ever made to redefine the economics of women's basketball.